Well, that was a really, really bad loss. Probably the worst loss that I've had here in my tenure. And we have nobody to blame but ourselves. We gave up 51 points in the second half. We had no urgency to defend. With that even being said, we're up 63-54 with the last media timeout, or 4 minutes left in the game. And they scored 18 points in 4 minutes. I think they scored on 12 of their last 15 possessions, 7 straight to end the game. Gave up transition threes. Even on 1-3, we didn't even get back on a free throw. I was screaming to get back. Threw the ball over our head, made a three. Got a dunk on an out-of-bounds play. Fouled the jump shooter twice. Just error after error. Bad shots on our end, turnover. Then even with that being said, Afton dunks the ball, gets fouled. They don't call it. And so we're still up 2, and we get a timeout. And the last thing we said, you cannot leave the 3 open. 2 doesn't beat us. It just ties us. They ran a very simple Z action. We're roll and replace. Our foreman tagged the roller, which is not his responsibility. His responsibility is to go out on the shooter, and our opposite guard is the low man and pulls in, and we didn't do it. He gave him up a wide open 3. With that being said, we still had a lot of time. I don't have any timeouts left, but attack. We told him to attack the basket, get it in, go, and we pulled up from 45-foot 3. With how much time? I don't know.
13.
How much?
13.
Yeah. That's on me. And then after all that, we still get the opportunity because they foul us on the 3, and we missed free throw to win it. All 3 free throws to tie it. And so look, it's on us, on me. It's a bad loss, and it's a quad 3 loss at home. And when when your margin of error is not very big, these things come back to hurt you. So we got to go find it someplace else to make it up. And I'm disappointed in the loss. Extremely disappointed. Questions?
You call it maybe the worst loss you've had. What's the most frustrating thing in this moment?
Frustrating thing is that is that no matter as poorly as we played defensively in the second half, we still had a 9-point lead with 4 minutes to go. All we got to do is finish it out and play smart, get a couple stops. They got to foul us, and we didn't do it. We gave up threes. We took a couple poor shots. Hunter missed the front end of a 1-and-1. Turned it over. Didn't get a rebound. It was a big play. I don't know what we were up, and they called it out on Ty. We should have had that ball instead of giving it back to him. That's probably when they made the layup. I can't remember all. So much was happening. But that's probably the most disappointing thing is the way that with what we have going to give up 51 points in the second half is just inexcusable. It's just inexcusable.
Steve, you had this game kind of reminiscent of the Georgia Tech game last year, of a game that probably should have gone your way, Boston College at home a couple of years ago. It feels like there's these blips that happen every now and again. What's next to get over that?
Well, what that is just got to get mentally tougher, more disciplined, and be prepared to have a really hard game on Saturday. You have to go back out on the road and win now. We're going to have to do that anyway. But it puts even more on them. And so we got to have great preparation tomorrow, and we can't do a lot. Can't relax like that, man, when you're up and this late. It's almost like we just thought, well, they're just going to go away. No, they're not. No, they're not. Came back to bite them. So, hey, we gotta have great preparation and get ready to play on Saturday. And then we got a week off before we play NC State. We still got a lot of games left, but got a whole court at home in a quad 3 game. Didn't do it.
Steve, the Afton dunk, I think there was maybe 2 seconds difference in the shot clock, but you went really early. Was that because you trusted defense?
It's just kind of the way they guarded us. We ran something to get it in. We had something set, but Cam made a good play, and then Afton made a good cut. And so I was fine with that. We got a really good shot out of it. It's not initially what we run a certain set to get it in. but they kind of overplayed it like they usually do and try to steal it. So Cameron made a good back cut, and then he got a good pass to Efton for the dunk. So, I don't think we could have got it, obviously, in any better shot than what we got. I was fine with that. I mean, you got to think a team that defends like our team defends, you go down and get on a stop, right? Not give up a three, and we did exactly that. So.
Have you talked to Tyler at all about what he saw on the long shot, or is that a conversation for tomorrow?
That's for later. I mean, there's nothing you can see there. I mean, come on, man. There's just no rhyme. I wanted Hunter to get the ball, and he was right behind him, and I thought he was going to turn and give it to him, and he pulled up from wherever he pulled up from. I don't know. I didn't discuss it with him after the game in the locker room.
Steve, do you think fatigue at all
No.
hurt your defense in the last 4 minutes?
I'm not going to use that as an excuse. We had plenty of juice, man. We guarded them like crazy in the first half. They're young, We played 8 guys, So no, I don't. No, just not mentally tough and not disciplined in what we were doing. We got driven constantly in the second half, and either they got to the basket and we fouled them or they kicked it out for 3. That's all that really happened. It wasn't anything schematically that they did different in the second half. We just did a really poor job of guarding the ball in the second half. All of them, not just one, everybody.
Steve, with 20-some seconds to go, there's a timeout. You said you told the team not to give up any threes no matter what. My question is, with both teams with no timeouts, the only chance of getting a chance to talk to your team again would be a referee stoppage to review or whatever. How much did you spend talking about what you want to do offensively if Florida State is
Well, I told him,
ball on the goal?
I just told him we don't have any timeouts left. I can't call one. Get it in quick and attack the basket, and get, obviously get the ball to Hunter or Cam, right? There's no play there because you don't know what's going to happen. And then in that situation, we needed to get to the basket. The last thing we needed was a 3. We needed to put it in the ref's hands by going to the hoop. Even if he went to the basket, I could have lived with that more than that. So we work on this stuff constantly. It just, but you can work on it, but mentally, you have to execute. So ultimately, that's on me. I have to have the right people in the game, In that situation there, obviously, I did not. And I wish I had a timeout, but I had to use them to try to slow down their runs, And I held the last one about as long as I could, and then that we were in a situation, he coming up the court where I thought we were going to take off and do something quick, and I called timeout, and then at least we got a dunk out of it, but I just didn't have enough timeouts to. I'd like to have had one there late to be able to run something that we run, but again, most of the timeouts about defense because we have to get a stop, but then it's if they score, they don't have to go and attack. So that's what we got.
Steve, last year at UVA, you had a similar situation where Cam kind of went rogue a little bit,
Yeah.
and you handled that one obviously internally. You'll handle this internally as well. But I guess what's the difference in handling it with a guy with Cam that has been around you for 3-4 years, and Ty, who's kind of newer?
I mean, everybody's different. I'm not putting the blame of him on the game. I mean, I'm not going to do that. I'll visit with him about it. I talked to him a lot during the game because I thought he was being sped up and having a hard time running our offense and, just being really impatient. But, he listens. But that's something, I'm obviously going to have to sit down and, and show him on film and visit with him about. But that's not acceptable, But again, that goes back to me. Having them organized and prepared. And we know what to do in that situation. We just didn't do it. So that comes down to me in execution.
I know you're not blaming West Coast travel or anything like that, but Trey was citing that he had cramps down the stretch. And How difficult was it? You saw yesterday's practice, Monday's practices, or
We didn't
you
get
were
a
off Monday,
we
but
didn't get a practice Monday. I thought yesterday's practice was fine.
were you concerned at all about the final 10 minutes of this game, given the travel?
I wasn't. I mean, but I don't think like that. I'm different. You know, I don't make excuses. You know, and yeah, I think Trey's probably got a little dehydrated. My guess is because Trey's never cramped up before, and he cramped up a couple times, but. You know, I'm not, that's no excuse. I mean, you know, we were back, most of us were back at 6 o'clock on Sunday, you know, and so they had plenty of time to recuperate. I mean, you know, all these guys, all these college players want to play in the NBA. I mean, they travel, you know, it's just part of it. And so, you know, that happened to, you know, Florida State. They went out there and got beat, I don't know, once or twice out there and came home and Virginia Tech beat them. You know, we were priding ourselves on being the team that didn't do that. You know, and we had it right there and we didn't finish. And so it'll be costly for sure. All good. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.